had to get a little bit warmer in Colorado.
Because, well, you ain't gonna wait at all. So it's been a hell of a week in the SWAC, man. You had the Bayou Classic, you had the SWAC Championship. Now they're going to get ready for the Celebration Bowl. And then this happened.
You look so guilty in this photo.
Shoulder to shoulder in Boulder, Colorado. Deion Sanders abruptly left Jackson State.
I think abruptly is the wrong word. Immediately.
No, it was abrupt. So I just want to let y'all
it
know.
was both.
Y'all know where I stand on this. Melanin versus everybody.
And I'm not even the verse everybody part.
I am.
But don't do this. And let me precede all of this with, if you're a first time listener, congratulations. You just found the greatest audio experience of all time. But Deion Sanders by far is my favorite athlete of all time. So it is even more disappointing to have to do this to the person who you consider your favorite athlete. But this is trash, Deion. Let them know what happened, Reggie.
So let's how do I want to do this? How are we going to do this? We got to give the full picture of how this started. Deion Sanders was at Truth Academy, right? In Dallas, Texas. He started his own academy. He played, his son Shador was there. Shiloh was there. I think his daughter played basketball there. Is it Shalomi? I think so. Shador, Shiloh, Shalomi. And he did well. But everybody knew that Deion had aspirations to coach in college. Fast forward to what, 2020? August 2020. Deion makes headlines or was it 2019? 20, 21, 22. So he got hired in 2020 because that was, yeah.
Correct.
So gets hired in 2020. Well, before he gets hired, he makes headlines because Deion went back to school at Tougaloo College. That's a very important thing. He went back to school in Tougaloo and earned his degree. And he said this is 35 years after going to Florida State. He played football at Florida State. It's awesome that he's able to get this degree from an HBCU. And he put emphasis on HBCU. And so that happened in August. Jackson State announces his hiring 1 month later in September. Jackson State 1 month later in October reveals board-approved plans. I want to say that again. Board-approved plans for an athletic facility renovation and an athletic football field renovation, meaning they renovated their practice field as well, and they got a pavilion so they could practice outside as well when it's raining, as well as have brand new state-of-the-art football facilities. Deion says, he cries in his press conference, he says, God told me to come here. God told me to come to HBCUs. Why not us? We can build a dynasty.
Then God told him to get the hell on too, huh?
We can build a dynasty. Why not us? Our kids deserve as much as every other school. We should be able to have 5 stars come to HBCUs. He said all of the wonderful things. Oh, the biggest thing he said, he was
talking about his kids, though. His kids deserve all the opportunities that he would like for them to have. And if that means that I have to go to an HBCU first to get my son to be starting quarterback for a D1 program, then he said it.
Look,
we didn't understand what he said, but
he said you made me forget my point. Deion, he says, God led me here. Oh, why not us? Why can't We have kids come here from D1 instead of going to D1 schools. Why not? We can affect the community. Blase, blase, blah. All y'all know how it is for anybody that is affiliated with HBCU programs. And I ain't talking about somebody that went to the school. No, I ain't talking about that. Either you went to a HBCU, you're an alumni of an HBCU, your parents went there, you have close family that went there, you have been to the classics, you understand the culture, and I ain't talking about just homecoming. Because there's a clear divide between the people that went to HBCUs and the people that did it. And it sucks because it's divided us. It's supposed to be us versus everybody, right? That's what Deion sold us. Deion sold us that we could become a dynasty. Deion sold us that we're going to do all of these wonderful things. And he raised money. He did. You got to give him his credit. He raised money. He allegedly donated half of his salary in order to get the practice facilities done on time. He got everybody here.
Time out. They call that an investment. If I put this little bit of money in over here, there's a very high chance there'll be another team that will offer me 5 years for $30 million. I'll recoup my money on the back end.
Yeah. So and this is what he said at Jackson State. The last thing that he said, it's not about the money. It's about the impact. It's not about the money. It's about the impact. All of those sayings, all of what you're saying, all of those promises, everything that you're saying makes this move look like you sold everybody a dream. To me, let's think about it. Go ahead.
Because he hustled him. I mean, Deion was not. Hold on. Go ahead. You gonna play it or no?
No, I'll wait.
I mean, for me, when he wanted to start this, we knew he wanted to be a head coach at a college program. But he had no base. He had no experience.
None.
Other than Truth. And Truth Academy or
whatever you think of it, and all the news that came out of it, it is what it is.
It is 100% is what it is. But was supported in spite of. And just earlier last week, you remember they were on here talking about before he got the head coaching job, they had questions about that.
What you mean?
Not us. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, they were trying to defile his name using Truth Academy last week.
Exactly. Yep. And stuck beside it. Nah, you know what? That's an unfortunate circumstance. We read what was really happening and gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then before they could, the ink dried on the win with Jackson State, he was out of there.
So let's play what he said to the.
And everything that's been transpiring around about my whereabouts and what I'm going to do. And I like for y'all to hear it from me and not from anyone else. It is what it is. Either in coaching, you get elevated or you get terminated. Ain't no other way. You either elevated or terminated. And it ain't no graveyard for coaches where they die at the place. It don't work like that. They either gonna run you off or you gonna walk off upon your own recognizance. I've chosen to accept the job elsewhere next year. I'm gonna finish what we started. We're gonna dominate. I'm gonna be here to that end and that conclusion. And then when that conclusion, we will move on. Now, what I don't want you to do is thinking something is better on the other side in regards to some of you. I would like to have the opportunity to meet with some of you so you don't go and jump in the portal and you die in the portal. I don't want that to happen because some of y'all thinking it's simplistic like that, and it's not. That portal will be loaded on is it Monday, fella? Monday. Portals opens, be loaded, and they're gonna call and they're gonna ask, because that's what we've done for some of y'all when we were trying to acquire y'all. We called and we asked your coaches, and when we knew what kind of character, what is it, and I don't want you thinking, since you have the Jackson State awards on you, that people are just gonna flock to you and they're gonna lace you like that. This is one of the best universities, I believe, certainly in FCS, that you could have an opportunity to play at, because of all the bells and whistles and these particular things that we've brought here. And I'm trying my best with this wonderful gentleman to help choose this next guy for you. My recommendation goes to TC. They know how I feel about TC. I want TC, and several of the staff members are going to be retained here, but that's mine. I would love for someone in-house, because I don't really know how y'all would act with somebody outside the house coming in to really not understanding how we function and how we get down. So that's my recommendation. So let's clap it up for TC. Hope
How you gonna break up with somebody and tell them they should date next?
But that's not his sole decision.
All right, man. I don't want to hear no more. My bad. I don't want to hear no more. Let's break that down real quick. That's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. For Deion to, first of all, we're gonna get to my other point. There's a whole lot of we and I. How can you have I and we when talking about a team? There's no we anymore. You've left.
You're gone.
You have chosen to accept a job elsewhere and didn't tell nobody. And then told the kids that you said jump in the portal to not jump in the portal.
Your
That's
words
you
on
full
your
of shit.
Instagram were, I'm not hard to find. So what he's saying is, these other guys I'm going to recruit out of the portal are surely good enough. You stay here at this HBCU.
Don't go to the portal and die is what he said. He did say that Jackson State is one of the best HBCUs, but then he says, because all the stuff that I and we brought here, meaning his staff, I and we, they did bring a lot of money. They did bring, Jackson State had the #1 crowd participation anyway, so it just increased. But you got to realize that that's the other reason when I said at the beginning, the board approved renovation plan for Jackson State was already approved before Deion got there. He did help with the fundraising though. I'm not going to diminish that. But this right here, I got to turn it back on so y'all can see. This right here, that's some bullshit. Right after the SWAC championship? And the only reason you telling them now is because Boulder, Colorado had to announce you as the coach. They had to.
Exactly. And I don't know how much you know about like wars and military, but basically this is when different countries go into a country to support it and then pull out all of its resources and troops. Those countries historically have the same issues over and over of being taken over. Because you pump this place full of resources, money, attention. Then you go on about your life and take all of the resources with it. I'm not sure if Jackson State is in a better place today than they were when he got there. You got to fill the coaching job. Let me tell you, your best defensive back is gone. Your #1 quarterback is gone.
Your running back is probably gone. Your linebackers are gone. Your defensive ends are gone. Jackson State's football team is going, unless they have to announce a coach by the end of this week. Because if they don't, that team is going to be gutted. And first off, let's. The first line was you either get elevated or terminated.
Nick Saban's
There was
been
no
elevated or terminated?
way that you were going to be terminated at Jackson State. There was no way. It was a whole bunch of I and we.
Nick Saban, he ever been terminated or elevated? Or is he at the mountaintop enjoying looking down?
So then Deion then does something unprecedented at his. Oh, before we get there. So at the SWAC championship, this is why this bothered me even more. And I listen, shout out to The Right Time with Bomani Jones. I listened to it and he pointed out something that I noticed. Deion he's always about press. He always does a press conference after the game. He does an interview show. He does media. Deion did absolutely nothing after the SWAC championship game. He didn't answer any questions. He didn't meet with SWAC media. He didn't talk to HBCU Go. He didn't do any of that. He posted this video. And matter of fact, at the matter of fact,
HBCU didn't go and he left.
A matter of fact, if you look at the trophy presentation, and this may be me being in my feelings, it is what it is. Go look at the trophy presentation. He looked like he was ready to go. Come on now, hand me that trophy now. Come on now.
Yeah,
like he was rushing them.
$30 million.
So you say all of that elevated or terminated, you giving all of that, all of this speech and all of these cool little onomatopoeias and all of that stuff that you doing.
Nice.
You up here BSing, dog. That's BS. So then he goes to the press conference and immediately says, Shedeur Sanders, that's your quarterback, but he's gonna have to earn it. Well, if you name him your starting quarterback, all that earn it shit is another line of bullshit, right? Another line of bullshit. So all of those, let's go back to the because I'm going too fast.
I want to say earn it like them 2.5 years you spent in college being the head coach now.
Let's go back to here. How many of those players has truly been screwed? And I think it hurts so much for the HBCU people is because this happens to mid-majors all the time, right? Your VCUs, your Liberties, your whatever. Their coaches get taken all the time. But they also don't come in preaching, I'm going to be here forever. They come in letting you know what the story is. They come in saying,
was sitting down with mamas and grandmamas.
I'm going to raise your black boys. And we're going to get to this too because I keep saying this too. Everything I'm saying is for a reason. He kept saying, I'm going to raise these black boys to be black men to change our community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And he just changed his community.
So Deion then goes, because we're still on the timeline of Deion. He then goes to Colorado and names his son the QB. Now I didn't see his son through the whole thing, but he didn't bring one thing that's interesting is he didn't bring Shiloh. He said he's beefing with Shiloh right now, but I mean it is what it is. He brought Shedeur and he brought Shalomi because they're both going to transfer from Jackson State to Colorado.
Not like those teams could probably use those players.
And here's another thing that's interesting. Jackson State, back-to-back SWAC championships. You have alumni from your team in the NFL making an impact for the Detroit Lions. Colorado is awful. Awful.
1-11.
1-11.
And this is your step up. The only thing that is money.
There's no way. No way. And that's frustrating. And for all of y'all people that come up here, I've been reading Facebook. I've been quiet because I really wanted to see. Everybody was talking about name one HBCU alumni that would turn down a $30 million or however much percentage increase. The difference in that is I don't know.
The money.
I don't know any HB of that in my circle I don't know any HBCU alumni that would fake the funk with an HBCU and say that I'm doing this, I'm going to stay here, we're going to build a dynasty. 2 years ain't a dynasty. We're going to build a dynasty. We're going to do all of this stuff and then leave and go to the one of the least diverse, God, how can I say that? Least diverse schools on the opposite coast. I could have, even if he went to South Florida, I don't think I would be as frustrated if he didn't go to South Florida. Or I'm not even frustrated, disappointed. I'm disappointed. I've been disappointed a lot this year. I finally understand the meaning of that word. Oh, you there? Okay, you quiet.
So, yeah,
but
for me, it's the lie. It's everything. You're wasted everybody's time. And my biggest concern is Jackson State and their infrastructure now. That team.
Oh,
I don't
yeah, the infrastructure. Y'all some damn fools. If you go, I seen somebody say Jackson State should have had what's the plan? Contingency plan. A contingency plan. I'm telling you right now, there is no Division I FBS school in America that has a contingency plan for 2 years. Nobody hires a coach at any school and says you only gonna be here for 2 years. Nobody, not
that means
one.
The hiring committee has not done their job at all. I hope we learn from this. I ain't done. We got a lot to go. All can learn from this. I think that if you're not from the HBCU culture, I think this is a great opportunity for you to sit down with people who did come from that culture and gain a level of understanding. Because I don't think what we're saying or what we're asking for is unreasonable. I think it's very fair and reasonable. And I think that we got to take a moment to look at, once again, everybody wanted their Deion Sanders 8 months ago. That was the plan. That was the answer for HBCUs.
You know who else that hurt? Now go ahead, finish.
I think that we can put that to bed, and I think that you've
screwed over Hugh Jackson, Eddie George.
Not even Hugh Jackson. All the rest of the guys that were right on the cusp of being interested in doing this.
Oh yeah,
we were right at a point where there were so many people. I've had so many different conversations of, oh man, this is the guy who we could get, or we could get this guy. Once again, I tell this story all the time about my profile who says, hey, it might not be the best car in the world, but it sure as hell my car. There's other cars out there nicer than mine, but this is the one I own. This is the one I'm
This is my rifle.
Yep. And I think that Deion was cool with this because he had no intention of going back. We wouldn't do this because we know you couldn't do this to Hampton and then think that you was going to go back and have any type of peace. But when you're not interested in going back, you'll do what the hell you want to.
Yeah, you and then I watched the press conference too, y'all. I was knee deep. I watched the press conference and he's like, "Hey, Rick, I guess he's like they had congressmen, presidents, and all that. We got to do something for Jackson State. We got to do something for Jackson State." He goes to, before we even, I guess what hurts the most is the way that he's going about this. Everybody knew that Deion was gonna leave. Everybody knew. There was no way that you thought Deion was gonna stay beyond 3, 4, 5 years. 4, 5 years. Really 4 or 5 years.
That was my answer. I realistically said, hey man, his daughter's going to school here. He'll do a solid 5 years here. If she wants to do a 5th year red shirt, that type of thing for whatever reason. You have given it a reasonable amount of time. You got through your entire class of recruiting, and you have submitted yourself as a icon in.
He only got one real class of recruiting. One. Everybody else that came the first year was the transfer portal. Travis Hunter was his first real class of recruiting. So he didn't even lay the foundation all the way. He left and he's taking the foundation with him. Y'all know Travis Hunter ain't staying there. You know Shador's not staying there.
Travis Hunter has already put on his Twitch stream, Coach, I'm following you. Out of there. Now you got to try to put together Jackson State got to put together a team with what?
Nothing.
No coach?
Nobody's going to be. No, I mean, like you've left the cupboard so bare. Those players came there for you. And you championed all this HBCU rhetoric and all that. And that's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. And I'll even say this. You said, and shout out to Bomani Jones because he's the one that made this point. Tougaloo fast-tracked you to a degree so that you could be eligible to get a job that nobody else was going to give you but us.
Talladega.
I'm sorry, Talladega. Talladega fast-tracked you to a degree so that you could get a job that nobody else was going to offer you. Nobody else offered you a job. Nobody. And when I went back and I looked at a lot of his interviews, you could see and hear the change in his voice and the change in the message from after they won the SWAC championship the first time. After they won the SWAC championship the first time, because I told y'all, once you do folks wrong, you start thinking about it, and you start going back like, what was their intention before? So after the first SWAC championship last year, remember he struck down all of this news. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not talking to no other schools. And then it came out that TCU had in fact been in contact with Deion Sanders. Y'all remember that? No. Because it was swept under the rug because they got Sonny Van Dyke and he's up there, and somehow they went 11-1 and made it to the college football playoff, which we'll get to in our next segment. But nobody remembers that, right? But then you go and you start looking at some of the other interviews that he did on Twitter, and then the 60-minute interview was just, that's when we were like, oh, he must be out of here, because he was like, he went from,
I got to get my coaching staff paid.
He went from, we doing it for the culture, for the people, for us, we're good enough, we're this, we're that, to I'd be a fool if I didn't at least entertain the other offers. I'd be a fool if I didn't do that. Well,
I honestly believe that he was negotiating through the media there. I thought he was like, all right, well, I will increase my own personal value so that by the time that I am legitimately looking for a job, you'll be able to know exactly what I'm going to cost you, and it won't be cheap.
And then all of this happens, and you see what it really was, right? So then Deion gets to all of this. He gets there, and as soon as he gets to Colorado, he's not even, we got a few positions taken care of because I'm bringing my luggage, and it's Louis. So I want some of y'all to get ready and go ahead and jump in that portal. He just told the people that he's leaving, that I'm not even going to say leaving, because leaving means that they knew that you were going, that you're abandoning the team that you're abandoning to not go and stay there, because you know why you say don't leave Jackson State? Because you feel guilty. That's why. Because you know they're going to leave, and you're going to leave them with nothing. Jackson State was poo before, but they had the number one attendance in the SWAC for forever. They support that team whether you there or not, because they love the band as well. Number 2 band in the SWAC. Bang bang. So that's why he felt guilty. So then you come to Colorado and you say, now here's his whole speech.
The position's already taken care of because I'm bringing my luggage with me. And it's Louis. Okay. It ain't gonna be no more of the mess that these wonderful fans, the student body, and some of your parents have put up with for
Man, shut up, man.
probably 2 decades now. I'm coming. And when I get here, it's gonna be changed. So I want y'all to get ready to go ahead and jump in that portal and do whatever you're gonna get. Because the more you jump in, the more room you make. Because we bring kids that are smart, say that, smart, tough.
No, don't tell me
fast, disciplined, with character. One more time. Smart, tough, fast, disciplined, with character. That's the ones we're going to get. Is that you?
Don't tell me that you just told me to jump in the portal. Tell your luggage.
Nah, bruh. Don't come over here and say, go ahead and get ready to jump in that portal. Fuck out of here, dog. There's no way. So come on, man. Come on, dog. Y'all can't see the play in this. You can't see it. Y'all sitting up here defending this. But you know who defending this? People that don't know. Because I was actually coming here really to shoot some Deion some bail. I was like, $30 million is $30 million. But when you sit here and when I started to look up the timeline and I saw his rhetoric change and you could see the plan, you went from Deion, the prophet, the preacher, to Deion, the used car salesman. Oh, this used car salesman stuff to me. Oh, that's all it is.
Once again, it's another thing that I said a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say it again here. Time gonna fix everything. Not prime time. Just regular old father time. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hope you play good, Deion. Hope you have one of the best teams in the Pac-12. Because let me tell you that. You're not going to be able to come back knocking on HBCU doors.
Never. Where do you go? Where does he go if he fails? And I don't wish that on no black man. But where does he go if it doesn't work out?
You know, to hell. That's the only place you go. You think that these other PWIs gonna have anything to do with if you don't produce? We would have took you back had you left properly. It's just like a woman. You walk out of here like you got some sense, then you might be able to come back. You act like a fool, you dead where you stand. I don't have any ill will. I don't wish anything negative to happen to Deion, his family, nor any of the teams that he coaches.
No. At the end of the day, you still a black man, and we are never gonna wish pain and strife on a black man. Never. I hope you are successful. I hope you learn a lesson. But before we go,
and his assistants to get him the kind of staff he needs. But I've said this before, that this is the time for us to put all the chips in the center, and it's time for us to get guy.
Rick, how did you fast track the transfer rule changes, and how did you come up with enough money to get this guy?
Well, look, we don't have the money yet, but I know we'll have it. So I'm not worried about that piece. The support that we got from our regents, our presidents and chancellors to be able to pay him what we think we needed to pay him, and his assistants to get him the kind of staff he needs. But
first of all, if you heard that, he had totally avoided the guidelines he changed. He said nothing about that. He slid around that so quickly. He slid around that like it was a screen. He missed it. Then he was like, So first of all, I'm going to avoid the big part about how I changed the infrastructure because it benefited me. Then on top of that, he's going to come back and tell you, well, we don't even have the money, but we're going to get the money.
They don't even have the money. But like I said, I watched the press conference, and they asked the president, because I think he's the athletic director, I believe. Yeah, Rick George.
Just remember this.
They changed the transfer rules so that others could come here. They don't even have the money. This is a play for Colorado, who has not been relevant for when last time Colorado was relevant in football?
When
Cordell
Rashawn
Stewart
Salaam was playing running back.
Cordell Stewart. So that's Cordell Stewart.
No. Rashawn Salaam was after that, right?
Okay, so the early 90s. Because I think Rashawn is R.I.P. Rashawn Salaam didn't die.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, they haven't been relevant for a long time, like almost 30 years. And this is a play for them. They saw. God, it's taking everything in me to not be petty. They saw a person, and you do have to give them credit. They have hired 3 black coaches in a row when nobody else hires black coaches. But as Bomani said, if this don't work out, that's probably if you won't make it to 4. They ain't gonna hire no more, right?
I mean,
but they don't even have the money. They said we just made an offer.
This is your elevation, 1-11, and we gonna get you straight, big dog.
There's no way that this isn't a money play. There's no way that this isn't a money play. There's no way. It's impossible. There's no way.
I wish Deion would have just been honest with us and said they gonna give me a lot of money and I'm out. I would have respected that way more. I'm going to get rich.
Yeah. Or, hey, Jackson State, we're going to benefit each other. I'm going to raise as much money and win as many SWAC championships as I can until the best offer, because not the right offer. This couldn't be the right offer. Couldn't be.
This is
the best
that's
offer.
The other part
along.
that's even more frustrating is this ain't even a good job.
1-11, dog. They are awful.
Boy, good luck though, because you're gonna need it.
So I'm gonna end with this. I kept saying Tougaloo, but it's not Tougaloo. It's Talladega. The people that you left and turned your back on fast-tracked you to a degree that you had no desire of getting. Gave you an opportunity that you couldn't get anywhere else. Gave you autonomy to be able to run the organization and run the football program as you wanted to. Brought your son, gave your daughter, basically did everything that Colorado was doing, and you sold them the dream of, I'm going to do this for you. Even if I can get past all of the bullshit that you sold, you can't even say thank you. You have not heard Deion come back to Jackson State. Now, I'm sure he's going to say thank you now after the, not to saying that he's listening to us, but I hope he is. Not to say that not to say that he won't say it after the Celebration Bowl, but you haven't even said, you acknowledged Jackson State and said we got to do something for him. What do you mean we got to do something for him? We got to put a little pocket and money in their pocket. No. Yeah. Say thank you. It
sounds like taking a love offering for the visiting preacher, bro. That's not what this is.
No, man. Say thank you. You would not have this job. You would not have this job in Colorado. You would probably, now I don't know what could have gone on. You could have been working on a degree somewhere else. I don't know the backstory. I also don't know. So I the only bail I shoot him is he also didn't have clean water for like 3 months. And he's battling. I went to Jackson and he was battling the same people that were allowing Brett Favre to do what he was doing were trying to keep Deion from doing what he was doing, right? But at the end of the day, Deion, you handled this wrong and you didn't even say thank you. You haven't even said thank you. And if you give this long, and anything you say now is going to be disingenuous. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to listen to you. Because you disappointed us. You disappointed us. You did everything. You gentrified Jackson State's athletic department. Period. You came there. You sold them a dream about the community and what you gonna do. You put a little money into it, and then you left and took everything with you. Because I want to see these offers and these advertisement offers, these advertisement deals, all of these people coming down there. He's bringing all of these, getting exposure. Remember, exposure. Is he, Deion, are you going to be plugged in with the Mississippi All-Star combine that you helped start? Are you still going to come down there and help with that? Are you still going to do all the things that you said you're going to do? No, because this move shows that you're not going to come back. You're not coming back to Jackson. You're not coming back to HBCU football.
And Gilly, you need to take your ass, keep going to Jackson, and all these Terrell Owens, all these people who were showing up when it was cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All y'all celebrities, for all these people that's calling out the regular people that are upset, all y'all celebrities that's talking about HBCUs, I better not see you at no damn Colorado game. Better not see you. I better not see you there. Because that means y'all full of shit too. And that's why there's such a divide between people that went to HBCUs and that are in the damn culture and people that are not. This right here. This right here is why there's a divide. Because if somebody, listen, we joked Eddie Robinson Jr., didn't we? We joked him at Alabama State when he said, he ain't swag, I'm swag. I know what it is. He said that. And lo and behold, a month later, nobody that actually is from HBCU culture would do this. Nobody. Now, you do have to have the conversation.
You gotta come back.
Even if they leave, nobody's going to leave in this manner that is from the culture, that is went to HBCUs, that is affiliated with it at all. Nobody. And then you got the people on the other side. You know, these same people on the other side is all that are the same people like, oh my God, you guys still have to stand in line at the registrar's office. Y'all are all that. Man, shut the hell up. You still stand in line to go when you over there at PWIs. You stand in line with them 30,000 students, but it's bad when we stand in line, right? No. Y'all, that's the same people over there. So y'all can stay over there for all I care. I hope that you can see how much this means to us and that you see how passionate we are about it. But if you want to sit over there and throw shade at HBCUs and HBCU alumni, you could shuck and jive over there with Deion in Colorado. Peace out. It is what it is. Hey, I will wish you well. I will send you gifts on your birthday if we friends. I will do whatever. I will support your black-owned business. But don't come up. If you over here criticizing HBCUs, but went to Georgia State, but didn't hang out at Morehouse, and go to all the fun stuff, but then be like, oh well, y'all don't even support y'all. Man, shut the hell up. Y'all the same people. All y'all can kiss my ass. Period.
Yeah, for me, you even though you did leave some staff over there, you're not. First of all, I'm conflicted. I know what they get paid at Jackson State, and I know what they get paid at Colorado.
And if you leave me there,
just like
$30 million.
If you leave me there, I'm waiting for you to come get me. Save me.
It's sad. It's a sad day. It's disappointing. Deion is going to go on to do great things, and he's releasing all of these. He's got all of these little quips, all of this. Oh, I'm about location. Hey. I'm about whatever he said, location, destination, whatever. You said, and God led you, man. It's a lot of God that be dropping in this one. There was a lot of God in these, a lot of GODs. Hey, a lot.
I'm gonna tell you this. Good luck, but you got a lot of work, my friend. Sometimes, and let this be the message for all people. The grass is clearly not always green on the other side.
Nope. Not at all. So we spent 45 minutes on this, but you knew we were going to talk about it. So let's talk. We was going to talk about it. This is some bullshit.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
But I will say, I'll ask you this last question. Do you think that this was a move strictly for him, or was this a move to try to get Shedeur to the league?
I think it was definitely a Shedeur move. I think it was. I mean, I don't. At this point, I don't even want to speculate because everything I thought was clearly some bullshit, and I don't think that. I think this put Shedeur in a very. Hey, bro.
They said Shedeur didn't look like he wanted to be there because Shedeur is a big man, not just on Jackson State campus. He was big man in FCS.
Oh, we're gonna see now. But I'm gonna tell you.
You can't fail. You can't fail. You can't fail, Deion. That's why I honestly I hope you don't. I hope you don't. You can't fail. You can't fail. You can't fail. You can't because you can't recover from this. Not with us. You go to Liberty. Probably go to Liberty. Or if it don't work out, well, they better than Colorado, so you probably can't go there.
This is the thing, though.
Coastal Carolina, maybe?
He's only been a head coach, so he's not even considering.
Oh, shit. Now, you done brought that up. Deion never even went up the traditional way. Jackson State afforded you because your personality is so big. Nobody was going to hire you on their coaching staff. Nobody. And you weren't going to do that because your personality is too big. Nobody was going to hire you to be an assistant coach. You don't have it in you to go be an analyst on Nick Saban's staff and work your way up. You don't have it in you to be a cornerbacks coach, a DB coach, an offensive coordinator. You don't have it in you.
In 5 years. At this program, Colorado, I mean, because you got to think, you would assume he didn't go to Colorado to be mediocre.
And they didn't go there to have him leave either because they got contract buyouts. If he leaves in the first 2 years, I think it's $20 million he got to give back. And then if it's the second year, it's like 17. The third year is 15 or something like that. They have a built-in payback plan. Hawks out here about to lose to the Thunder. Lord.
Tricked it off. Maybe we need John Collins. Who thinks? But for me, yeah, this is trash. I'm kind of over it. I'm happy that we did not get into this foolishness, and I hope that this is a cautionary tale for all HBCUs. Just because sometimes this pomp and circumstance looks great, it may not always be the best thing for you. Good luck and Godspeed. Thoughts and prayers to all parties involved.
We'll be back, y'all, with our football segment and our basketball segment and round it out with splashes of the week. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, rate, and review us on all your DSPs.